Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here at Rishikul Mahasabha complex. It is an exemplary school, and I see Vijay Nair as an exemplary manager. Ladies and gentlemen, you would have noted there have been comments by members of the public about space in schools around Fiji, particularly in the Lami to Nasuri corridor. And there have been concerns raised about high student numbers, high student to teacher ratio. We all want an ideal situation. We all want the student to teacher ratio to be around close to 30. Everyone wants an ideal situation, but we need to be realistic about where we are in the transition. If people want to know whether we are meeting the ideal student-teacher ratio, then let me tell you that we are having an ideal student-teacher ratio. Our high school student-to-teacher ratio is around 19 students to a teacher in Fiji, which is remarkable. In fact, below our ideal teacher ratio of about 27 or 30 to a teacher. Our primary school student-to-teacher ratio is again below what we would want, what we would term as ideal, around 25. But it doesn't mean much. Averages may not mean much in certain circumstances. If you have a bucket full of boiling water on your right and your bucket full of icy cold water on your left, and you put one leg on the boiling water and one leg on the icy cold water bucket and ask you, how do you feel on an average? You can't say that on an average I feel better. So averages may not mean much in certain circumstances. Our class size in interior schools are as low as 3, 4, 5 students per teacher in primary schools as well as high schools. Our class sizes in suburban schools are as high as 45 students per teacher. In suburban schools, we have got in high school, we've got 19 students per teacher in class size. Not too far away from here, about 3 kilometers away from here, a high school has as low as 19 students in the classroom. So it is not really about us not addressing the situation. 2 years ago, we started to work with schools to see how we could divert the grant towards upgrading of the existing facility as well as construction of new classrooms. I must say that Manager Vijay Nair was one of the leading managers who came in to assist us in efficiently utilizing the grant money that is given to the school and hived up a percentage to construct new classrooms for both high school as well as primary school. And I do hope that we will have managers like him throughout Fiji. So ladies and gentlemen, we began assisting schools to construct new classrooms in this corridor. And also we have seen new schools coming up in this corridor from our assistance and support from members of the community. It is because the reality is we have got a massive movement of population from rural to urban area. Now, while we have movement of population from rural to urban area, thus requiring additional spaces in the urban area, the resources that are tied up in the rural area are not released. We are not closing down schools in the rural area. We are not reducing the number of teachers in the rural area because we still have students studying there. But the numbers have gone down because households have moved. And it is continuing. And therefore, we are also continuing our efforts to ensure that no parent or child is denied to have access to primary or secondary school education in urban area, particularly in this area where there is high demand. To this effect, we began a new high school at Tadirua. We'll be beginning construction of additional 3 classrooms to begin year 11, 12, and 13 next year. And next year, we're looking at construction of more classrooms and science lab and library facilities, etc. We'll be constructing more classrooms from Tadirua Primary so that we remove the pressure from the Tamabua Primary School, which has over 1,000 roll at the moment. We were able to open a new ECE center at Sakoda Tamabua so that we reduce the pressure on Tamabua Primary in terms of demand for ECE space. And we now have about 120 students enrolled at the Sakoda ECE center, and therefore the number of students have gone down at Tamabua Primary for ECE from close to 100 to about 60 the last time I was there. So ladies and gentlemen, there are more plans for construction this year. We will be constructing additional classrooms. I've asked my Deputy Secretary, Primary Secondary, to go and meet managers of schools in the corridor and ask them to hive up 20% of the free education grant money and start constructing additional classrooms immediately so that we have got additional classrooms ready for next year in January when school begins for the new term. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very particular about quality of education while we are expanding space in schools around Fiji. We are mindful of 2 aspects. One is we need to ensure that our curriculum, the subject matter content, is up to standard with any other comparator institution around the world. To this effect, we're continuously examining our curriculum. You would have noted that this year we have introduced a new topic on sustainable development goals so that our children that comes out of our school system are ready to be part of the global system. We are in the process of developing global citizenship. We cannot be oblivious to changes in the global education system and churn out educational products which are not ready to be part of the global system. Secondly, we are also looking at how we could improve delivery. We are looking at strategies to ensure that we meet the demand and requirements for the 21st century student. In this regard, we will be holding workshops with our head teachers and principals to look at how we will need to revise our delivery strategy to ensure that we remain ahead of how children are moving with time. The 21st century students are different from the students' educational environment that we faced some 4 decades back. We need to understand the reality. We cannot say that if we could get through a school system with the bare minimal in those days, why can't the children do so now? I think the reality is that the contemporary labor market has changed, and the contemporary labor market requires additional upskilling, additional knowledge, and us to move outside the standard textbook template-based education system. And that's the kind of education system that we are currently developing to ensure that our children remains relevant to contemporary Fiji and contemporary global education system. Ladies and gentlemen, we are organizing an education forum on the 6th and 7th in Nandi, and we are inviting all stakeholders to come forward and assist us in rethinking our education strategy to prepare children for the 21st century. We are inviting all stakeholders, and I do hope, including universities, academics, and vice chancellors, of course, unions, and other stakeholders who could come and effectively contribute in terms of developing our educational strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to go back again and remember the forefathers of this school who established this school some decades back, as outlined and alluded to by Manager Nair. Fiji's education system is unique. Unlike other countries, almost all the schools were contributed and established by members of the community. We must always acknowledge the sacrifice and contribution that they made in that era to ensure that their children and the future generation in Fiji are not deprived of education. And this journey to providing education to the children and future generation, our faith-based groups played a very important role. Arya Patniti Sabha, Sanatan Dharam, Sangam, Muslim League, Catholic, Methodist, etc. All of the faith-based groups played a very important role in assisting government and partnering with government to establish the infrastructure whereby government will provide the curriculum and teachers. And to this day, this unique model is functioning quite efficiently. And I want to thank the faith-based groups and the members of the community, communities who came forward and assisted the government to establish these schools. Today, as you know, our government, under the leadership of our Prime Minister, Honorable Bainimarama, is steadfast to ensure that future Fiji will be based on knowledge as the foundation. We want future Fiji to make decisions based on logic and reasoning, rise above emotions, and then only future Fiji can be stable, can continue to provide a peaceful and prosperous environment where everyone can grow together. Our government believes in ensuring that everyone will have access to education so that when the economy grows and the returns from the economy will be shared by everyone who are engaged in the growth process. And to ensure that everyone is engaged in the growth process, we need to educate every Fijian so that then through education they can participate in the growth process. That will ensure that once they start participating in the growth process, then the returns from the positive growth that is happening in the economy, they will also benefit because they will also get a share of the return. So ladies and gentlemen, we have begun a revolution in education to ensure that not only accessibility to education is provided and obstacles are removed, but also we have an education system which deals with individual students' aptitude. In this regard, we have established campuses of technical college throughout Fiji. As promised by Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Bainimarama in 2014, as listed in the Fiji First Party manifesto, that upon coming into government immediately, the Fiji First Party will establish campuses of technical college throughout Fiji, which will offer level 2 programs, competency-based, recognized by Fiji Higher Education Commission through these various campuses. Ladies and gentlemen, not only we offer this level 2 certificate award 1-year program, but we also offer short courses at no cost to those students who want to study. And interestingly, we have got over 7,000 students who have done short courses at these 13 campuses of the technical college. This year, we began a new campus of the technical college at Lau, Ratu Sri Kamisi Samara Technical College campus. So ladies and gentlemen, we have an education system which ensures that ordinary Fijians who were ignored by the selective policies of past government's education are now coming forward and participating in education system. Ladies and gentlemen, we want everyone to have access to education so that everyone's dreams are realized, every parent's dreams are realized. I want to thank all the stakeholders who have contributed to ensuring that our Honorable Prime Minister and our government is able to deliver onto this vision that we have for a knowledge-based society. And I want to thank parents in particular for coming in these numbers and continuously supporting us to ensure that these little children's dreams are realized. I want to implore on you that without parental support, it will be very difficult for our teachers to deliver onto that kind of education values and virtues that is needed in contemporary Fiji. We do hope that you will play your part in ensuring that you provide that basic education that is required to ensure that children are able to maintain a learning environment in schools. There are schools where discipline is an issue, but we can do that much in the school system. But education begins at home, and it's important that parents play a visible, active and critical role in mentoring and molding your children so that they are able to not only contribute to a conducive learning environment, but also are able to develop themselves as well. With these words, it's my pleasure to be here today to preside over the official opening of the 10 classroom and computer lab and library. And I want to again thank Manager Dr. Vijay Nair and the Sabha members, and of course the able leadership of the head teacher. I have always said that the school is what it is because of the leader, the head teacher or the principal. If we don't have good leadership, then the entire school community, the teachers, will be demoralized. We will see that the teachers will either, good teachers will either leave, or the rest will follow suit of the leader. So I want to also acknowledge the leadership provided to by head teacher Surendra Kumar, and I do hope that we have these kinds of model head teachers throughout Fiji. Thank you, Naka and Dhanyawad.
Thank you very much, sir, for your deliberations.